Welcome to CPG Vibes. No script, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service or be a guest, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. Now your hosts, me, Alex Bear with Genius Juice, and Wade Yenny. All right, welcome to episode 99 of CPG Vibes. No scripts, just chat. We are here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. A little cold here in LA. By cold, meaning it's under 60 degrees here. Wade, that's probably warm on your side of the country there, their neck of the woods. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. It's we're hovering around the 50-degree mark right now, so we're probably not too far off, I would say, right?
Yeah, your warm is our cold over here in Southern California, right? And what is your shirt say? I'm kind of like curious.
I was going to say it's funny you should ask, Alex, because last week I have to kind of thank you, because last week after your little mentioning that we like swag, my buddy Brandon Johnson that I worked with in Louisiana connected me with John Bryan, who's the chief growth officer at Fire Department Coffee, and he sent me
a shirt. Department Coffee.
Actually, 2 shirts and some coffee samples. So, John, thank you. And yeah, good stuff. My wife's been nailing the coffee. I've been wearing the shirt, and it's been a good time. But yeah, my buddy Brandon Johnson that I worked with there hooked us up, and I can't thank him enough.
Love it. Well, I love it. And also there was I didn't even ask you about this, but did you get the kind of the Secret Admirer package?
I did. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yes. So you'll debut it on one of these episodes.
Well, I figured I'd probably wait till we get a little bit closer to the mystery package. I figured that would be relevant to do, right?
Exactly. So I was kind of like shot in the dark on the shirt. As we get closer to that occasion, we'll see how that goes. But also, the product that I've been talking about so much on the show before, and we're gonna get into our announcements here, but Undercover Snacks is something I've been buying from Ralph's. So I put that in there. Did you try them yet?
Oh yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that actually having it from when I was at Jimbo's, and we carry them here as well. So it's good product, no doubt.
Yeah, they're in a lot more stores than I thought. So I was surprised when I saw them at Kroger, and then obviously they're at your neck of the woods in the Southeast, and they're all over Southern California, and they're in Target. That's where I got them. So they're amazing for anyone who hasn't tried them. So some announcements. First off, our sponsor for this episode is Simply Depot. So we'll talk more about them, and we're going to actually bring on John Vasilets, who is a customer success director for Simply Depot. And he also has a dual role where he's an account manager for Ginger Labs, who's also our sponsor. So Simply Depot, which is also Ginger Labs, GNGR Labs. And Wade will Google that up and we'll put it up. But basically, they have a delicious, sparkling, adaptogen ginger drink. And then they also have ginger shots with other functional ingredients like turmeric and other things in there for immunity. So that's our sponsor for this week. And we will talk more about what they do. And I think just by bringing on John himself, he can do a lot better job than us two here could ever do on explaining what they do. I actually don't want to say too much because I might screw it up and confuse people. So 5 stars. I think we're at 124 now. So we beat 123.
Actually 125 when I checked.
We got 125. Nice.
I did see 125 when I checked earlier. So
thank you everyone for getting us 2 more reviews since last week. Keep it coming. All you have to do is go on Apple Podcast on your phone or your phone of choice or on the browser. There it is. There's the link that Wade posted. Just copy and paste out your browser and you give us 5 stars. And then if you'd like to sponsor one of our episodes, We have episodes coming up, obviously, every week. We have some openings in February. We're pretty much spoken for in January. It's $350 introductory price. We'll mention you the beginning, middle, and the end. You have a bunch of people on live, plus all the people that listen to it after the fact on Apple Podcast. And then last but not last, and kind of least, because we don't bring on a lot of guests, if you'd like to be a guest, you can apply. Same thing, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And we're coming up on our 100th episode next week, which is
Next
really
week.
very exciting. And we'll talk more about that. I'd like to shout, because that's what we do, shout some people out in our community here, the CPG community. And I think a lot of great things to talk about in this episode. I mean, we want to talk about the review cycle, and Wade has a lot of perspective on that. I want to talk more about the events coming up, fancy food coming up in a couple weeks, Expo West coming up in less than 2 months. And then we also want to talk about just 2024, our predictions, right? For CPG brands and retailers, what's going to happen in 2024, right? Because we're here on January 12th, as this is airing, 2024. So some comments here. I'm going to scroll. Wow, we already have a lot here. Wow, it's pouring in. We have Katie Gervin. Hey, everyone. Katie, good to see you. We have Rachel Robb. Good to see you again. You're becoming quite the regular here on our...
Rachel.
Yep. I've seen, she's been commenting consistently for the last many shows. I can't even count how many. There's been that many.
That's because she's awesome, Alex.
Oh, yeah. Another one from Katie Gervin. Kenny Hausman, heard you on the podcast recently. Nice to meet you. And Kenny, loved your post about your tattoo. That was awesome, man. I had no idea that you had a tattoo. So he posted on LinkedIn.
More than one, right? More than one.
I know at least where one of them is, on his arm. The other ones, I don't know. But yeah, no, he posted like he's been more expressive about having, his tattoo on his arm. He used to kind of hide it. Now he's showing it more, kind of like anyone. What are people going to think? And I love that self-expressionism that Kenny did with the post. I love everything about what you're doing, brother. So
big game this weekend for Kenny's Bills. Their playoff game against the Steelers at home. So and my Browns are playing the Houston Texans in Houston tomorrow. So big football weekend.
Yeah. Is this the first round of playoffs? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we know what's going to happen to the Browns. They'll make it to the semis and then lose, right?
Hey, the fact that they made it to the playoffs is a victory in and of itself. So anything from here, especially with the injuries they've had all season. So we're just hoping to, we can win a playoff game. That's like winning the Super Bowl for us. So
yeah, definitely. I think it's cool when they defy all odds and make it this far. And the Rams are, and again, no offense to any of the Cleveland fans out there, right? I'm cheering them on because they are the underdog, right? And we want them to go all the way and kind of break the what is it called? The cold streak, or break the curse, or whatever, however they say it in sports. You can tell I watch a lot of sports. I don't even know the terminology, but the Rams, I mean, they were like a 20-1 dog on actually even making it to the playoffs, and they're in the playoffs, right? I believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or you know what?
I'm not sure. I'm just so focused on the Browns. That's our side. That's all that matters.
Okay, let me actually look. Rams and playoffs. We'll see. I can't even. Okay, so I guess someone will tell us, because who's a much bigger Rams fan than I am, even though I'm in LA. Some other comments here. We have Dima Moraro, 16 in Montreal. That's the temperature. Gavin Conkle, what's up, brother? He is with Cloudwater, the VP of Sales. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 52 degrees here in Charlotte and pouring rain. Right? I guess can't say we have it too bad out here. It's not raining in LA. Patrick Sinclair, brother. Good to see you. Friday. And then we have Gavin commenting on Undercover Snacks. And a couple more on the bottom. We have, Rams are in. There we go. Yeah, Sean Bird. So, and then Kenny Hausman, Bills versus Browns AFC title game. Maybe. I like that prediction.
Yeah.
Going to be 1 degree here in Boulder on Sunday. You know, you don't even have to do a cold plunge, David. You just have to go outside and like dive in the snow. That's your cold plunge.
Right.
Literally a polar bear plunge in the snow. So good stuff. So another thing too, please send me swag, hoodies, like any kind. I'm wearing the Tenzo tee. I don't know. Have you ever gotten this one, Wade?
I do not have that one.
This is my favorite hoodie, like besides the Genius Juice one, and I got it from Steve Odell, who recently got engaged. He posted on LinkedIn. Tenzo tea, they do the matcha tea and other teas. He sent me this hoodie, so please send hoodies to us. We're poor. So where do you want to start, man? You want to talk about the review cycle stuff? We can go from
Yeah,
there.
we could. That's perfectly fine. We can do that.
Okay, I'm gonna ping pong it to you since I've been talking too much. Go.
Well, I think we were going to talk a little bit about reviews, and I don't know where we want to start, but I always try and say something towards the October timeframe. By then, you should have in your hands, if you're a brand, if you're a broker, if you're in the space, the review schedule for your key accounts that you plan on targeting, and that's kind of the starting phase, because no one's doing anything with regards to reviews. I say no one. Most retailers aren't doing anything with reviews in November and December. It's kind of a dead period. You don't want to impact the stores. It's just kind of a kind of a catch up time frame and whatnot. But then come January, things get a little crazy. And I've been pretty clear. Especially for larger organizations. When you look at that actually follow formalized review schedules, it's a long process. It starts typically with meetings of some kind, or some kind of internal evaluation with regards to how the category is performing. You're kind of reviewing your sales data year over year. You're looking at external sales data, and then next beyond that, you're starting to schedule meetings with vendors, and so on and so forth, and it just kind of goes from there. But from start to finish, it could be anywhere depending on your size. I would guess as little as 3 months if you're relatively nimble, but upwards of 6+ months if you're larger and you're opening DCs and things like that. So I think preparation is key. Targeting, and we've talked about probably till both of us are blue in the face as far as targeting the right accounts that are good fits for you and your brand. And that's kind of the 50,000 foot view. What kind of what do you want to talk about as far as the reviews go, Alex, from a brand perspective? I mean, you fire them at me and I'll either shut them down, or I'll ask Kenny and Gavin and whoever else is in here to contribute to what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always interested to kind of pop the hood since you were for many years a category more in the, you're I think, more at center store now, but category manager, right? You were like in the trenches, looking at items, meeting belly to belly with, vendors and suppliers and founders and owners. What has worked really well for you in past meetings? Like what is music to your ears? Both not only what they say, but also just the vibe, if that makes sense. The vibe of the meeting, how they present it to you, and how they treat you during one of these meetings. Because I think that's the meeting face to face with a decision maker is, to me, that all that matters, right? When it comes to making sales and getting into the store and doing it right in that very precious and rare moment where you get that opportunity to present. So, what has worked well for you in the past from your experience?
Well, I think it depends. In this day and age, I think more often than not, a lot of the meetings are via Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, what have you. So
Okay.
it's a little different atmosphere than being in person. And a lot of them are rapid fire. Half an hour. So you've got half an hour to kind of throw your spiel out there. And I think, like I said, is you're looking at it as a category manager. First off, you have to look at your internal data. How is the category performing? How is it performing in the channel? And obviously you're using outside party for that, whether it's Spins, Nielsen, IRI, something like that. But where's that category at for you? And then that's kind of the starting point to see, okay, am I outpacing the competition? Am I kind of where the channel is, or is my category underperforming? And I always try to get out into competition a little bit and look and see what are they carrying, what's out there, and kind of going from there. But then from that standpoint, or from there, I think the next step for me, if I have a face to face, if you've been listening to the show long enough, or me at all, I always say ditch the deck. I hate PowerPoint. I hate using it. And so if someone's coming into me, I want as small of a deck as possible. I really want to make that personal connection, hear a little bit about your story, hear why you feel you're a good fit for my company, my retailer, me as a retailer, what you're going to bring to the category. And I do want to see a little bit of data. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be in some of the places I've been, have brought products in. I've been first to market with quite a few brands over the years. And so sometimes data isn't everything, but if you're, the larger you get, I think you have to be more in tune with data and use it, because we've talked about this. Every decision you make, it has a much bigger impact when you're a 100, 200, 300, 500 store chain versus taking a risk at one store and just putting something on the shelf. And so I think I want to know what you're going to bring to the category, how you're going to enhance it, or what void you're representing for me in the category, that I don't already have on the shelf, and how you're going to support me promotionally. Excuse me. How you're going to support me with marketing, and just how you're going to help. It's a partnership, right? How are you going to help? I say this too. You get product in the back door. That's the easy part. On the shelf, that's the easy part. It's getting it out the front door. So how are you going to ultimately help me sell that product if I give you that shelf space? And I think that's kind of where my mindset is. And so in that meeting, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear touch on all those things, as far as, let me hear your story, the why, why you're doing what you're doing, if you're a founder, if you're representing the brand, excuse me. And then how you're going to help me sell the product, what voids you're filling, etc.
Yeah. It's kind of like my experience has been, and I think this is all just gold, everything that you're sharing, Wade, for anyone out there that's pitching a brand to category managers. And we're going to get to these questions in a second. There's some questions here from Chuck Toombs. There's also some comments. To me, it's a mixture of, or a combination of art and science. The art is standing out in the crowd and getting the category manager to feel something. I sound like Jake Carls here, but feel something, feel emotion, feel a connection to the brand, to the person. And so, everyone, there's stories out there where someone was sick before, right? And then they started eating their product that they created and they became better. There's stories like that. There's other stories on why they created it. There's, stories on, their mission and what they do to give back. But whatever that is, whatever your story is, really emphasizing that in the beginning of the meeting versus just going right into what the product is and what the benefits are and what the ingredients are. That will come later. Beyond all that, it's also making a connection, which is hard to do in a rapid fire where it's only 30 minutes and the category manager is seeing, 10 brands that day, but making some kind of connection, a personal connection, and truly caring about the person you're meeting with, and being authentic, I think really goes a long way, because when there's that human to human contact, you're more likely to be liked by the other person and more likely to get into that account. So I think that's key, is the emotional side, connecting with the category manager, sharing your story, a powerful story if you have one, so that you separate yourself from the 10 other brands that he or she is reviewing that day or that week. And then just going in also, like, have you done your freaking research, on the retailer? You've said this to your blue in the face is, when you're sitting down with a category manager and you say, I know, here's what I've learned about your stores. Here's what I've learned about your customers, your demographics, a combination of going on your website and going to your stores, asking employees about who comes in, what do they shop for, what is trending most. Larger chains, it's harder to get that kind of data. But even if you go to the top 5 stores, right, in a large chain in the area near their headquarters, find out what the customers are buying and what they like, and what they're looking for in stores. So coming into the meeting, being prepared with facts about the retailer and your product is a good fit, and here's why my product is a good fit for your store. Here's the
Well,
value that we're adding.
right, and I think along those lines, and again, I've said this so many times, but we've got some new listeners, viewers, whatever you want to say. Um, if you haven't, if you're pitching a retailer and you haven't been in one of their stores, it's probably a big mistake, and obviously logistics and locations might influence that a little bit. But what I always say, and I'll continue to say, is you have the ability to see inside those stores via social, via their flyers, via their websites, so many
Mhm.
different ways. So if you can't go in person, which I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you want that retailer to carry your product, you probably should be inside one of those locations, especially if you're talking about a bigger chain, right? I mean, if you're talking about a multi-store account and you haven't been in their stores, but you want them to carry your product, make it a point to go see the stores, see what they're carrying, and get a feel for who they are outside of the internet. And I think that's a mistake, so often. And we've talked about good pitches, bad pitches, and I know there's a couple questions up here, but one of the things that just drives me up a wall is the brands that are using, whether you call it fractional or outsourced salespeople, if that do a terrible job. And what I always say is the copy paste emails. I've got someone who will remain nameless, but someone who is constantly, like, it's like I say, it's almost like they have whether it's an app, whether it's a CRM or something like that. He's got
Mhm.
a reminder on his calendar every 4 weeks. He sends me, and it's just the high Wade. That part's the unique to
Customized.
me. That's the
Yeah.
unique to me. Everything else, and he's just forwarding the last email he sent me 4 weeks ago. So he forwards last email, and it's always, are you interested, or something like that, and it's just garbage. And it just makes me sick to my stomach to think that there are brands out there that are paying for that service, and I know they are, but it's if that's what you're paying for, you're just throwing money in the trash. Because any respectable retailer, category manager, and I've got peers and friends here in the chat that can chime in. Any respectable retailer is going to see right through that in a second, and they're going to be like, delete, delete, delete. It's just garbage, and you're throwing your money away. So if you're using those kind of services, make sure that Gavin, make sure that you know how that person is representing you, because ultimately that's the case. You as a brand, you're paying for this service, you're paying this person, this company, what have you, to represent you.
Mhm.
That's going to stick in the retailer's mind or the category manager's mind. It's like, oh yeah, that's that guy that emailed me 10 times once a month at every 4 weeks, and it's the same thing. And it's always at the end, it's always, would you like, if you like samples or what. It's just bad. It's just bad. So
Yeah.
think about who is representing you, and make sure that they're doing a good job, because that's not a good way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah. I mean, what they do reflects directly on the brand, right? So, like, if there's a broker, sales organ, whoever it is that's representing this brand that's reaching out to you, it not only makes them look bad, it makes the brand not look good either, right? So it's kind of a double whammy. The other thing I'll mention too that's worked really well is, how you have those stores, and these personalities way where they've been there for 40 years, like at that store, or they've been to like 10 or 15 or 20 different stores. They've moved around in their career, and they're basically like a lifer, a career lifer at a certain retail chain. And so asking them, what have you seen succeed? What have you seen fail? What do you think of my product? Here it is, try it out. Getting that valuable feedback from someone who's seen it all, done it all within that chain in multiple stores, maybe even in multiple states. That's really valuable as well. So I've done that. Doing it at a small chain with 3 stores, that's valuable too. Because you're you know you're connecting with them on a local level. And I feel like the smaller chains are more likely to be natural chains, and the natural chains tend to have high velocity. So it's really good to
Right.
know everything about that. Even never the other thing that I will say, if they're a chain that has 200 stores or 160 or 4 or 3 or 9, prepare the same way. Like don't come in thinking, oh, it's a 3-store chain, I got this, it's an automatic in. It's not. You want to prepare accordingly, bring your game face, do your research, and treat it like they are as valuable a retailer as a large retailer, because every store counts to build your brand. So never
Right.
never under prepare, no matter who it is. I've
And I
had
would.
one store chain, like I go into one store and I'm still doing my research about them. So
Right. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. We had Chuck Toombs ask a question, and I, excuse me, my little ramble there. I think he
yep.
said, that's what I thought. Brokers do add value, Chuck, especially with larger accounts. We talked about this quite a bit last week, if I'm not mistaken. Just,
Yep.
especially when you're talking about big accounts, you probably need a broker to help you get your foot in the door there, or you have to have some kind of connected dots relationship to get your foot in with a category manager. So, and not all brokers are bad. I'm specifically talking about ones that you aren't getting what you're paying for. At least from my opinion, you're not. I think, Kenny chimed in, and it's always difficult for me. I'm looking at the phone because not all the comments show up here on StreamYard, but,
Right.
but there are some excellent brokers out there, Chuck. You just do your research and make sure that you're getting what you pay for. And Gavin made a comment that I think maybe some brands overseas or some founders would have you don't think about sometimes. Talk about Gavin. We've got Kenny here. Moises out at Harmon's. My friends at Jimbo's. My friends in Ohio. My friends in Louisiana. It's a small world, and well, sometimes you may cross paths from a competition standpoint. It's a very tight community, and Gavin, when he was at Earth Fair and I was in California, and Moises at Harmon's and Jimbo's, I was talking to people in Southern California. You're going to reach out if you haven't heard of something or a brand like that, pick up the phone, shoot a text, shoot an email, and say, excuse me, hey Gavin, have you heard of this? Or hey Kenny, I see you carry this. What's your experience with it? And I would say at least once a month, if not twice, my conventional friends in Ohio reach out to me and say, we just did last week about a category and said, hey, what's this category doing? I'm looking at this brand. What do you think? And so my point is that understand that happens, because if you think it's all just competitive cutthroat, that's not the case. And a lot of times they're going to be talking amongst themselves, and whatever impression you have, good, bad, or otherwise, that's going to be shared. So think about that a little bit as you're making your pitches and or as you're building relationships. I encourage all the time, obviously not to burn bridges, but you want to make sure that you leave a good impression, even if you don't get that placement. It might be something that information that's shared back and forth. So,
Yep, 100%. It's interesting, like when you talk to, I've spoken to like 7-Eleven owners, and one of our family friends, they used to own a 7-Eleven. They have like channels that all the owners across the country, whether it's by section, state, region, or national, and they communicate with each other about what's doing well and what's not. And if there's like this great selling new item that they bring in, like Lenny and Larry's. I remember when Lenny and Larry's was, the protein cookie was new, and they brought it into 7-Eleven, and, a few owners got it, and then they started messaging in this big, I think whatever predated Slack, right? This is before Slack.
right.
They probably use Slack now, and they just share with each other, here's some hot selling items. So I'm sure Jimbo is in all the Slack channels, sharing about all the great items, and he's in the no plastic water bottle Slack
There
channel.
you go.
So let's we're going to switch gears here. We're going to bring on our sponsor here, John Vasilets. He's with Simply Depot and also with Ginger Labs. I'm going to wait for him to pop up here. I think he took a little break. He's going to come back shortly. So while we're waiting for him, just wanted to mention, and there he is. So we're going to bring him on, then we're going to talk more after about a couple other subjects. So, but let's bring him on. He is our sponsor for this episode, John Vasilets. Welcome to CPG Vibes. How are you?
Hey guys, happy
Welcome,
Friday.
John.
Yeah, thank you for having me today. It's really pleasure, and I'm really thrilled to introduce Simply Depot. So it's a B2B platform tailored for distributors and CPG brands with a field sales team. And our system streamlines customer management, orders, promotions, inventory, all in one user-friendly CRM platform. So it enables business expansion and scaling in retail network. So we really understand the challenges that entrepreneurs face on their journey to success in a competitive CPG industry, since Simply Depot's inception is really rooted in the experience of industry professionals, including our founder Ivan. So when he and his friend Namik launched their beverage brand Ginger Shots 2 years ago here in New York City, Ivan identified that there is a big lack of tools for small and medium business to actually grow and scale that retail network. So that's why he decided building our platform to help such businesses, especially emerging brands.
Nice.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and it was really helpful because like they started self distribution. I mean, like GNGR started during the COVID, and it was pretty difficult for them to find a proper distributor, especially for refrigerated product. And they started with self distribution, so it was really difficult. But at some point, they managed to open like 300 stores, like active customers, and they were hooked with local distributor Dora Naturals, and it also helped them a lot to grow. But even though their distributor helped them a lot, they still were forced to have their own um, people, like salespeople on the ground, because it's sometimes when the distributor have a big list of products, it's really hard for your distributor to carry about your product properly. So that's why Simply Depot field sales team, not field Simply Depot, but GNGR field sales team was using Simply Depot mobile app and other our solutions to guarantee that they are serving that retail network well, and in that way they were like assisting their distributor. Like for example, they were going to stores, taking pictures of the product, making sure that it's looking good, sharing that information with their distributor, placing mobile orders, and in that way they were maintaining really good relationships with their clientele.
I got a
So
question. Oh, really,
go
really
ahead.
quick on my side note, and Wade has a question.
Oh,
Just for though, I think what a lot of some companies and a lot of companies I know use is something like Repsly, right? Repsly's
Right.
out there. So to make it kind of full circle for everyone viewing, what is the value for someone or a brand, whether you're small, large, to
Yeah,
go with
that's
Simply Depot versus something like Repsly?
That's a really good question. So, what we have discovered that even big companies like Coca-Cola, they are using a bunch of different apps, platforms to run their business. Like one app for messaging, one app for merchandising, such as Repsly, right? One app for routes, one app for task management. And what we are building, we already built it, it's already working, is all in one solution, and specifically for small and medium businesses. So it means like really good pricing, it means tailored functionality for CPG industry. So that's what we are doing, all in one, easy to use platform to build and grow your retail network.
Wade, do you have a question?
nope. I was just coughing. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. So I think we got the rundown on that. And then I also showed about the product as well. And again, I don't really bullshit. If I didn't like the product, I would tell you to your face. But I actually really like the product. I'm a big fan of immunity stuff. I'm a big fan of anti-inflammatory. And what I was just showing on the screen there, I'm looking at the screen right now. The ginger vitamin C is phenomenal. So clean, tasty, not sugary. It's just awesome. And then also, I love the shots too. Like, there's other shots out there. You got the Vibes and the Cores and all those guys. but I like how clean and simple your products are. You have immunity booster, immunity aid, digestive aid, and vitamin C booster. What's cool is you can also order it from the website. A lot of refrigerated products, you can't order everything from their website. And it looks like you have thousands of reviews, which is awesome as well. So like someone can basically just go on, order all the shots, variety pack, boom, delivered. Is it pretty quick, the delivery, or how long does it take?
Yeah, it's about 1 or 2 business days. It's like really quick, and it comes with ice packs. So in that way, we guarantee that you will receive fresh quality product.
Wow, 1 to 2 days. That's really, really fast.
We are working really hard.
Amazon sometimes takes more than 2 days, and that's Amazon. So, all right, well, good stuff. So for those that are listening and not watching, simplydepot.com, simply SIMPLY depot DEPO.com. And then you have Ginger Labs, GNGR Labs.com. Little bit of a pressure cooker question for you, John. We don't prepare fucking anything on the show, right? So we didn't even ask you in advance what the prize is going to be since you're sponsoring this week. You sponsored a couple weeks ago, I think a few weeks ago, and then you're back on December 15th. You sponsored. Do you want to double down on the same sponsorship, which was a discount plus a variety pack, or do you want to do something else, or what are you feeling?
Of course, we can repeat it. Let's do it again, and
okay,
let's make these people happy.
Yes. Good stuff, man. Well, John, thanks for sponsoring us on CPG Vibes. Have a wonderful Happy New Year and all that, what everyone else is saying, right? And thanks again, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, you guys. Sean. Yeah, good one. Bye.
Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled program here.
Now would be a good time to talk about our ongoing sponsor, probably too, just to make sure we get that in, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Wade, I'm going to pass it off to you, man, because I've been talking it up a lot here. I'm going to conserve some energy.
Okay, well, it's V-Driven and our friend Luke Abbott, and I'm trying to multitask here because I was getting ready to type everything in, and I don't have my cheat sheet up. But
CPG Luke, partner for emerging purpose-driven brands.
You've got it off the top of your head. I'll let you do that, and then I'll talk. I'm putting the links up. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. I'm back to talking again. We fuel growth and innovation. I'm actually cheating right now. I'm looking at it. They provide strategies and support in every phase of the. I'm gonna read it. I'm going to say it like I'm not reading it. Like newscasters, the way they talk, it's like they're speaking off the cuff and authentically, and they're reading everything line by line. I want to have that skill set, right? Like I'm doing a speech, presidential speech or something. So they fuel growth and innovation by providing strategies and support in every phase of the retail journey, from leadership coaching, brand management, accounting, sales strategy, day-to-day tactical support. They can be an end-to-end solution for the brand's business needs. Their leadership team has decades, I'm talking decades, not years, decades, Wade, of real-life experience in all the key areas of the business, and they know what it takes to help a brand succeed. Coming soon to a theater near you. All right, so that is V-Driven, vdriven.com. You can also email Luke. It's right up there. Luke Abbott, Luke.Abbott, ABBOTT at vdriven.com.
And I also wanted to shout out his Reconnected podcast. There's the link for the podcast if you haven't checked it out. Jimbo was the first episode. I was the second episode. The third episode that just dropped this week. Monica Coyle.
Legend.
Legend. Great stuff. So make sure you check it out if you haven't already. And so Alex, I'll give you a break for a second. The other thing I wanted to talk about before we get into topics is a post that Ari Raz made earlier today. And Alex, I don't know if you had a chance to see that or not. I told you you get a break, but you don't really. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but basically he was talking about he's the CEO at the Coconut Called, which Alex likes a little bit. He's might have mentioned it once or twice, and
have a dedicated fridge to Coconut Called.
Yeah. Exactly. But he was talking about his frustrations with category managers relying on year over year, last 52-week metrics to measure the growth of startups. And it was some good dialogue in that post. If you haven't, I'd recommend you search for Ari and find the post. It was some good, good back and forth with regards to, brands that are in the space and growing and maybe growing recently, and showing triple digits, albeit maybe small, but that might not necessarily be measurable if you're looking at only at a 52-week capture as far as numbers go. And I just thought it was an interesting post, and especially from an emerging brand standpoint, kind of goes along with the things we talk about with struggling and pitching and things like that. And I think, I said it on Ari's thread there, but I'll say it here that, I do encourage my team to, when they're looking at their business, not to just look at 52 weeks, but also look at 26 and 13 to see, because if you're looking at 52 and the numbers look good, but the last 13 numbers aren't so good, or vice versa, you're not really capturing the category and how you want it to perform. And I think that's something, as you're thinking about pitches and you're thinking about getting into meetings, that's something, whether it's yourself, your team, or your broker, needs to make sure that they're able to tell that story, because if your 52-week story isn't good and your 13 or 26 is, certainly you want to accentuate the positives, and you want to emphasize what you're doing well and how you are growing. So I don't know. I just found it very interesting and a good topic of conversation. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't read it through all the way. I did catch the post, but didn't go through all the comments or anything. I did also the link here. I did put it into our chat here, so you can copy and paste that link and see what Ari posted in all the comments. But I mean, yeah, and my short answer is I agree. I mean, I think reasonable argument that you're saying, and also from all your experience, and also from Ari's experience, it just makes perfect sense that you want to see trends and products more in real time, more recently, and to see what's trending in the last 3 months, 6 months versus just 1 year, ago. So I agree. I mean, as a category manager, it's your job that's why you go to Expo West, right? That's why you go to all these shows, is you're looking at what is next, what's going to do well. They should call it Expo Next, not West. What's next, what's coming up, what's hot. And these trends hit quick, like within 3-6 months, you see it everywhere, right? You see it in a lot of natural stores. So yeah. And especially if you're a category manager or part of Center Store, you want to bring in, you have your 80 or 90%, common items and household items. You leave room for innovation, right? In your stores, like 10%, 20%, depending on the type of store you have and the customers. It's good to leave room for innovation on what is trending in the last however many weeks. So I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at chlorophyll, right? Remember that?
Right.
With social media, I mean, I remember Salties, for those that haven't had them, it's in glass, cold pressed juice in glass, no heat treatment. It's an amazing product. I remember, they're in San Diego, so in your neck of the woods back at the Jimbo days, Wade, and they have a chlorophyll SKU, and within like a month, it trended and went viral, chlorophyll, on TikTok. Remember that?
Yep.
And everyone just went out and started buying chlorophyll. And that was within 1 month. So in this day and age where things can go viral very quickly and trends can, you got to be up on the stats. So
Right. And I know we got 10 minutes left. I thought maybe now, before we do the stuff we love, Alex, something might be good to talk about is that 100th episode, and what we have in mind, sharing with the people that are watching, listening now a little bit, now giving a precursor to what we're going to do or thinking about doing, so that they can get ready and thinking about next week. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So well, we Wade and I discussed about 2.5 minutes before this episode. You don't know if we're lying or not, but the sad thing is we're not lying.
No, we're not.
We're not. Maybe 3 minutes, not 2.5, because I got interrupted.
That's why we were late, because we actually did have a conversation before the show went live. Yeah, which doesn't always happen.
Which exactly never happens.
Yeah.
So basically, we want to bring on 3 or 4 regulars that love the show. They're passionate about the show, and they're just fanatics of CPG vibes. So what we're going to do is Wade and I are going to be posting on Monday a Google form that you can apply to be basically to pop in to our 100th episode, because we're going to be really making this episode about the people, about the community, less about the show and about us. So yeah, that's going to be our way of saying thank you to everyone for supporting the show and making it what it is today. So look out for that post from me and Wade on applying to pop in and be a I wouldn't even call him a guest, maybe a guest of honor on our 100th episode. So,
Well, we could just do a roast, Alex, and go that route. But basically, we're going to give open mics to a couple of people and let them come on, and either they can share a little bit about their experience with the show, and just we're hoping that some of the, to Alex's point, some of the regulars that are here with us every week or frequently, I say here, there's a lot of people that download the show and aren't able to make the time because it isn't the best time in the world, but it works for us. So yeah, if you're interested, if you're listening to this after the fact, if you're watching live, keep your eyes out for that. But it's something, it's hard to believe. It's been 2 years. I mean, it's been 2 years since we started this. So it's something to celebrate, and we want to have a little bit of fun with it. So look for that as we start off next week and kick off the 100th episode next Friday.
Absolutely. Yeah. Same time, same place. And it will be an hour, might go to 3 hours. We'll see. But well said, Wade. Well said.
Yep.
Cool. And then, and we'll post that on, just for those who have no idea when this aired, Monday, January 15th, 2024. We'll do our little post with a Google form. So
there you go.
And then we're going to save the topics on predictions for 2024. We're going to bump that to this 100th episode, which I think is suiting. Right.
Absolutely. I like it. We'll play Nostradamus then. And besides, I'm not always prepared or for stuff we love. I've got a doozy this week.
Okay.
We got a doozy.
Go for it.
First?
Me? I'm going to have you already, that big intro, that hype. You go ahead. Woo! Protein crisps. I want organic. Those are amazing.
The newest product. It's not even on the website. What I have in my hands, I don't know if you can tell, but this is open, and I had to pry it away from my wife before we went live to make sure that I could talk about it, because I already killed the sour cream and onion bag myself. This one has very little product left, but Mark nailed this. I mean, it's fabulous. It's no secret. Mark's a friend, and all his products are great, but this one, I don't know, Alex. To me, it's next level. Like, it's just fantastic. So I haven't tried the barbecue yet. I'm trying to pace myself to try and make them last a little bit. But man, just great stuff.
Yeah. I think there's something special about this line. I mean, he's come out with other lines like popcorn. That's a value add. Mm-hmm. But to me, I think of two words. Maybe it's one word with a hyphen. Game changer. Yeah. For iWant. It's a game changer. I think it's delicious. It's light, it's crispy, it's not oily at all. You feel good when you eat it. The flavors are dialed in. And I was texting with Mark some of my feedback, and I said, well, I love this, but maybe this could be improved here, or that can be improved. Like anything, at first launch, there's always going to be something. And he was already on top of it. He's like, yep, next run, we're like, knowing Mark, like, he's so well prepared and he listens to people and he catches it ahead of time. He said, yep, next run, we're going to improve this, improve that. And so I can't wait to see the reiterations of this and the life cycle of this product line as he rolls it out.
So for me, if I was being constructive, the criticism that I have is that there's no way in hell this is 3 servings, Mark. There's no way. I crushed the bag. Maybe 1.5. I don't know if it even made it to 2 servings. I crushed the bag. So just FYI, that's my constructive criticism. But really, kidding aside, fantastic job. It's delicious.
It was funny because when I texted him, I'm like, it's not resealable. He's like, does it really need to be? It's delicious. You'll finish the whole bag, right? I'm like, exactly. You know what? I did finish the whole bag, didn't I? And my wife finished a whole bag. So I'm like, yep, you're right. Doesn't need to be resealable. And if you want to reseal it, just do a little clip. That's it.
Exactly.
So, all right. So mine, I have fallen in love with this brand, and it's a brand that has been around for, I think, about 10 years now. They're based on the East Coast, and they have these new cups that are a great serving size, which is Eating Evolved. Mm-hmm. These are fucking awesome. And, the 3 flavors I found in Whole Foods, and they just launched a bunch of new flavors in Sprouts, but they have the coconut, they have the almond, and then they also have a hazelnut. And these are basically 100% cacao, almost no sugar. It has Jerusalem artichoke for fiber. It has cacao butter, and then they put in monk fruit. It's not overly sweet, but it has kind of a touch of sweetness to it. They're filling, they're really good for you, they're high quality. And when you look at the packaging, it just feels very premium. And so you kind of just crush one of these bags with 2 cups. It's amazing. So I love what they've done. They have bars, they have the boxes, which have these cups, and then they have these little kind of Reese's, kind of feel, right? Which is the twin pack. So the 2 cups. So I love everything about them. And then they also rebranded too. They used to have the monkey on the front.
Right. Yep.
And as much as I love the monkey, it just didn't bring that, you know what I mean? Like the seriousness and high quality of their product, where people couldn't take them as serious. And now I'm really taking their product seriously. I love it. And I buy it all the time. So, and Keenan Stanley, right? Keenan Smith is the VP of sales, and he used to run the brand Wolf Kombucha, I believe. And then he moved
that was the kefir, the water kefir, right? Or
the kefir, not kombucha. You're right.
Yep.
And so he did that for a while, then that shut down, and then he's parlayed that into an amazing opportunity at Evolve. And he's obviously done amazing things with them in the last 2 years now, where he's changed the face of the company along with the owners to rebranding, new flavors, new distribution. I think he's done a fantastic job in helping run the sales of this company. So Keenan, keep up the amazing work, brother.
Good stuff.
All right, so that's Stuff We Love here. And again, if you want to send us anything and to get mentioned on Stuff We Love, the hoodies, the shirts, send it over. So, all right, I know you can just email cpgvibes100@gmail.com, and we'll get you our addresses. I think you're going to get so much mail, Wade. You might want to get a mailbox, etc., or a UPS store, man. I'm telling you.
There you go. I like it.
It's going to be piling up on your doorstep there. All right, so the next segment is Friday Freebies.
Friday Freebies.
So I just want to reemphasize and mention with my teleprompter here is V-Driven, right? They're just an amazing organization. Luke Abbott is the CEO and founder. You have other talented individuals that are part of V-Driven, and they do everything from they're a master sales organization. They help you with trade spend deductions. They help you with accounting, and they're really geared towards small and big brands. So if you're a brand doing $100,000 a year in revenue, they could custom tailor a package to not only help you and get it off your shoulders, but also probably save you money instead of going to another company that most likely could charge more than what they were doing. So
one-stop shop for all your needs, right?
One-stop shop for a CPG brand. Exactly. So we have our prize this week, and I'm going to read it off here. This is from Simply Depot. This is this week's sponsor. We just brought on those that missed. John Vasilitz, the customer success director for Simply Depot. He also runs the brand Ginger Shots. He's an account manager, I should say. He runs the sales there, helps run the sales. So the prize for this week is going to be the winning guest will have a 75%, and we'll talk about the product one more time too, a 75% discount for 10 months on their platform. So instead of $3,000, it's going to be $750. And they'll send you a wellness kit from their partner and customer Ginger, GNGR, which includes a variety pack of their shots, their ginger turmeric shots, and their newest line, which is the vitamin C probiotic sparkling beverage. So this is an enormous prize worth well over a couple $1,000. And all you have to do is answer a question. So, Wade, do you want to go in one more time? Because you were listening. I think you're a better listener than me on what Simply Depot is.
Yeah. So it's as far as what they are.
Yeah, what they do, the service they provide.
They manage customers, orders, promotions, products, reps, and more in a easy to use, more than one CRM platform for business growth. It's Simply Depot, SIMPLYDEPO.com. And if you go to that website, you can see kind of a snapshot of kind of what they can do, showing sales, orders, new customers, visited customers, total activities. It looks to be very user friendly. just very, very intuitive, and you can kind of get, like Alex said, Ginger Labs is one of their is it a subsidiary, or is that it's just one of their clients?
Yeah, I think they're both. I think Ginger is uses Simply Depot, that the brand Ginger, but also so they're or Ginger uses Simply Depot, and then they're also they're a client, and then also John, who represents Simply Depot, also represents Ginger Labs as well. So that's the connection there.
Yep.
All right. So the question for this week, I'm smirking again because I did not write anything down. Do you got one?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I thought I did, but I kind of spoiled it. And I see John Bryan from the Fire Department Coffee Company on here. I was gonna shout that out, and I can try. I think it's probably gonna be too hard, because if it was at the beginning, I named someone, and I don't think it's gonna happen. They're gonna get this one, so we're probably gonna have to come up with something else.
I got a really easy one. Not super easy, but what for the stuff we love that you just showed, what product, you have to name all three: the entrepreneur, the brand name, and the flavor.
Well, the flavor might get them. I like it. That you're talking mine.
Yours, yeah.
Mine. I like
mine.
it.
Mine's evolved coconut cups and almond cups. I'm not going to ask that question. So
the bag that I showed, not the bag that I devoured myself. So that's key there. So John, thanks again for the shirt package, John. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah,
what I was going to ask, since John is in the audience now, what I was going to ask is the name of the person that connected John and myself. I mentioned that I used to work with him in Louisiana, but I figured the name is probably too obscure if you weren't on at the very beginning, and probably weren't taking notes at that point. So, boom, Kenny got it.
That's it. Boom.
Nailed
it. Boom.
I'm not gonna hold you responsible that you left out it's sea salt, but that's a technicality. You got it.
I don't know, man. Should we let that one slide? No, I'm just kidding.
If Gavin again, it would be like 15 weeks in a row or something like that. And he's having to build a storage shed outside his house because he wins every week. So I'm glad Kenny won.
Yeah, he's getting that either that or he's opening the UPS store mailbox.
Exactly.
But like, yeah. I muted Gavin to make sure he didn't win this one.
There you go.
I'm kidding. We love you, Gavin. So cool. All right. Well, what do you got going on this weekend, Wade?
Browns playoff tomorrow. Go Browns. Yep. Go Browns. And I'm going to say it, Kenny. Go Bills on Sunday. And that's it. Nothing really. It's actually a long weekend because we're off Monday. Yep. So I don't know. We might get into something. We're both feeling better, a little bit better, and we'll see what happens. It's rainy today, but I don't think it's supposed to be raining all weekend. So we might get out and see what we get into. We'll see. How about you?
Well, you know what's going on tomorrow. So
golf action, right?
A little bit of golf. I'm going to be playing very, very early at the beautiful Alondra, being kind of sarcastic here, Alondra Park golf course right off of Prairie. Do you know Prairie? Like Crenshaw, Prairie Avenue, that area?
I know Crenshaw. Yep.
Yeah. So it's between Hawthorne and Crenshaw, Prairie. It runs all the way from Torrance all the way through to like LAX, Inglewood, LAX. So the course is not bad. It's just the conditions aren't great. So, but it was the only one that was open. And so me and 3 buddies are going there to play. And we're going to walk it. It's really good exercise just to walk that course. It's very flat, which usually signifies it's not a great course when it's flat. That's just me knocking them. So it'll be fun. And then my sister's in town where I'm picking her up from the airport tonight with her son. I'll be watching some football on Sunday. And then we're going to Ojai on Monday and Tuesday. So there you go.
Yeah. Excellent. Yep.
We'll run into some celebrities. We ran into Jason Segel last time we went up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool.
And his random fact, the last movie he came out with, at least that I remember, called Windfall. Have you seen this movie?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so the film is shot. I won't tell you what it's about, but they shot the film in Ojai.
Oh,
So
nice.
so he lives in Ojai. Jason Segel part of the year. It's only like 70 miles away from LA. So a lot of celebrities that do acting in LA, they go to Ojai to kind of take a break and relax and get some nature and hiking and stuff and get away from all the people. So yeah, he shot his last movie in Ojai, right where he lives. So
Right on. Right on.
all right, so we'll see you next week for episode 100. We are very excited about that. Look out for the link on LinkedIn from me and Wade to apply to be on our 100th episode extravaganza. And everyone, take good care. Wade, have a wonderful weekend. Good luck to
You
your
too, buddy.
team. Kenny, good luck to yours. And love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.